Little bit.
Welcome back to Little Bits of Language. Today we have a fun animated read aloud of a story in English. If you prefer lower sensory input or a bedtime read, we have a softer version available on our channel. Our read alouds are done by Aisha and I, co-founders of Little Bits of Language and fellow speech language pathologists. We love bringing our childhood language development expertise to you, one little bit at a time. Some little bits we'd like to share with you today are some reading tips to think about while you're listening to and watching this read aloud. You can also use some of these tips after the fact. The first one is to use WH questions. Again, you can use this during the story and ask, who is that? Where are they going? What are they doing? And you can ask those questions after the story as well. This will really help seal in details and information about the story. The second is to pause when needed, whether you're pausing the video here to wait before you go on to the next part of the story. If you're reading an actual book and you're just taking the time to process, hey, what's going on? Let's kind of rehash what's been going on in the story before moving on. Use pauses generously as much as you need them. The third thing is to relate the story to a child's real life as much as possible. Maybe you're reading a story about a character going to the park and you all just went the day before and you can talk about that. Oh, remember, we did this yesterday too. We saw some of these things as well. Maybe there's slides and a swing and things like that. So that's important to relate to their own life. And the last big tip that we have for this one is to retell when you can. Maybe you're going to, in those pauses, you might retell something that just occurred, or you might read through the whole story and allow an opportunity to retell after the fact by flipping through the pages and just letting the child point and talk about the story. This will be really important to, again, seal in any of those details you've already talked about, review and think about the story events that took place, and that starts to help them form their own narratives and how to structure stories in the future. So make sure you use these tips as needed. We leave them there just as something to think about and then remind you of, but you're certainly welcome to do any of those at any time that they feel right, and as much as you need to. So now let's get into today's story.
When Spring Comes. When Spring Comes by Kevin Henkes, illustrated by Laura Dronzek. Before spring comes, the trees look like black sticks against the sky. But if you wait, spring will bring leaves and blossoms. If you wait, spring will make the leftover mounds of snow smaller and smaller and smaller until suddenly they're gone. Before spring comes, the grass is brown. But if you wait, spring will turn it green and add little flowers. If you wait, an egg will become a bird. A seed will start growing. Spring comes with sun, and it comes with rain, and more rain, and more rain. Do you like mud? Do you like puddles? I hope you like umbrellas. Before spring comes, the garden is just dirt and empty. But if you wait, spring will push green shoots through the dirt to fill up the garden. And spring will call out the pussy willows and new kittens too. Spring can come quickly or slowly. It changes its mind a lot, but when spring is finally here to stay, you will know it. There will be buds and bees and boots and bubbles. There will be worms and wings and wind and wheels. You will feel it, you will smell it, you will hear it. When spring is finally here to stay, you might think you are done waiting, but you are not. Now you have to wait for summer. The end.
What a great story, right? Now let's see how much everybody was paying attention. We're going to be putting up some questions that we as speech therapists use to check for understanding of the story. These questions can also be asked during the story, and you're welcome to do that when you watch the next read aloud, or if you want to stay tuned just after these questions show, there's going to be an opportunity to tell the story in your own words with a silent retell video. Now let's get into those questions. Good luck! Thank you so much for listening to today's story. Remember to like and subscribe to stay connected with us. We'll continue to post more videos with story read alouds, recommended toys for kids, speech therapy questions, and any topics or videos requested by you, our audience. Also, remember to check out our social media pages and our website, littlebitsoflanguage.com, for more content. See you soon.
Little bits.